Hello. Welcome back.
I'm staring at Rambo again.
Oh, yes, it's right
Because
here.
every time we say hello, he jumps up on the couch.
Maybe he thinks we're talking to him.
Maybe. He's so
Rambo's
cute.
my new kitten, by the
Oh,
way.
yes. That will be
We'll be discussing
discussed later on.
Yeah, later on. But welcome back, and it's episode 25.
Ah, nice. I was like,
Yes.
I'm about to say like 24, 25. I don't know.
25.
25. We are quarter of a century.
Yes, we are. That's a
25
quarter
was
life
a good
crisis.
age.
It really is, because you're like halfway through. You're not 30, but you're not 18. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
And I feel like physically you're at your peak. Like,
uh,
life was
I think
great.
I'm at my peak still.
Oh, I had so much more energy when I was 25.
Energy-wise,
Yeah.
yes. Now I'm like,
I could party and then still work the next day.
yeah.
And now I think it takes me like 5 days to recover from anything.
You can't party and then
Nah.
work. You can party and then die.
Yeah, die for 5 days.
Anyway, what are we starting off? Oh, yes, lucky
You-
dip. Who's dipping?
You.
Oh, okay. So
I have
you
no
holding?
idea. I'm assuming it's you.
I'm
Is it you?
confused because I'm editing and like, so I'm like,
I'll
last
hold
time.
it.
Okay,
I have no idea.
that's fine.
Shake, shake, shake. Okay. It didn't
Yay.
shake anything.
All right. Ah, it's your question. Do opposites attract?
That actually wasn't a ChatGPT question. That
It
was actually
wasn't?
one I thought
Okay,
about.
Nice. Yes, they do. Like magnets.
Do they okay.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Magnets attract, so positive and negative. You can't
Yeah.
put positives together. I guess in a personal human level,
Yeah.
there's a certain like type of opposites where you will attract, I guess, and
Yeah.
like get along enough
Yeah.
when your personalities are not completely the same.
Yes.
But I think if there's too much opposites, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah. I think when
To
people
attract.
ask that, it means they're very opposite, not like just little opposites.
Oh, okay.
So like completely opposite about a lot of things. Like someone's super introvert and dating someone's super extrovert. Not just like mid introvert, mid extrovert. Like
Okay, right.
extreme ends.
Yeah, yeah. See, I don't know if that works.
I don't think it works. I don't think opposites attract. I mean, I think opposites attract, but I don't think they stay together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because
I-
I think like me and Vincent are opposite in
Not
some
really.
ways.
You're very similar.
Yeah, it's the small opposites, not like the large
Yeah.
opposite. It's not like he is a Trump supporter and I'm
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
but
you know
you're
what I
you're
mean?
inherently. I think you're both very similar.
okay. I
But-
think you and Jacob is as
Oh,
well.
100%. We're like, I feel like we're like 80% similar.
Not to like bring up the past, but your ex was
Yeah,
An
and that's what I
opposite.
mean. We attract, but we do not stay together.
no.
Because
Couple of your exes are quite
the opposite. Yeah, because I think psychologically you're attracted to something that's different from you because it's different.
Yeah.
But what I've learned in my own personal experience is that when you're when you're so different, it's so much more effort to stay together.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because then you're putting in more or compromising
Yeah,
more to
more
make it work.
compromise. And I was just thinking about this with a relationship that I know of. They are very similar, but I think their values are so opposite. And they always talk about how like they just need to compromise and put in the work to make it work. And I was just thinking, man,
That sounds like you
no, that used to be me. that
4
used to be
years
me.
ago.
Exactly. And that's what I was listening to it and I was like, that doesn't sound good because
Yeah.
now I don't compromise anything
No,
except
there's
for
no
like
point.
dinner. Like sometimes Jacob wants a burger and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna
Alright,
get a
fine.
burger.
It's the little things.
Yeah.
Let him have his little wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, I
Yeah.
think when things like that are said, it's a bit of a red flag, especially if you've been in that type of situation
Yeah.
before. You're kind of like, ooh, I've heard this before from
yeah,
myself.
from my own mouth. Like it came out of my own mouth and I vomited afterwards.
So, I think opposites attract to a certain level.
Yes,
Certain level.
a certain level. I
Um,
think values. If your values are different, that's when you're
100%. So, this relationship that you just spoke of, where the
Yeah.
values are extremely different, had they been together a while?
Yeah, like a few years.
Okay. And
On and
it's-
off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
No, but they've been together for a while. And then, like, they have similar hobbies and culture.
Yeah.
But I think the values are a bit different. I think her partner's a bit more conservative than her.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so they like I think the biggest conflicts would come from like how they view situations. So for her, it's because she's a lot more free spirited, very easygoing,
Yeah.
and then he would not take that as whatever that is. He would take that as like wrong. So I think
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Values matter, though.
Yeah.
You need to have similar values. Aligned. It has to be
Aligned.
aligned. Even in the future when you start raising kids,
yes,
buying a home,
yeah,
you know,
that's a
like
big one.
full on actually living a family life,
Mm.
like a couple life,
Yeah,
values matter because then
yeah.
if you don't align on how to raise your kids, that's too late now. You've
Yeah.
got one.
Because I was thinking about it with my with Stickman. Stickman's mentioned again. His parents
Twice in
twice in
5
the season.
minutes.
Well, we didn't mention him before.
No, because I said
explicitly.
excess.
Yeah, because I'm like they're all the opposite of me. But no, Stickman's parents were divorced, and because biggest thing that's the difference to them was that his dad was very wealthy and his mom was very frugal, and his dad
Well,
would
he
be
got
a
his mum's.
spender. Yes, and it was like such a conflict for them to the point that the straw that broke the camel's back was that they were out at a family's outing, and then the dad wanted to buy the kids ice cream, and his mom was like, no, they don't need that, just like waste of money. And I was
Mm.
thinking
And that caused a divorce.
that was
bit.
the final straw. Obviously,
Damn,
things-
imagine going to your divorce lawyer and be like, this.
that's the thing though.
That's
People
so wild.
people break up over the dumbest thing, but
It's
it's
true,
like the
because
thing
it's
that
build
tipped them
up.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like the dumbest thing is that what tips them over.
Absolutely. So it's like that's what I mean, like that's just because they just had such an opposite view on money
Money.
and how they would like to spend it on their family.
That's like very important to
Yeah.
have that similar view. Because if you're not, like me and Vincent are aligned with mostly how we spend our
Yeah.
money. And like if we didn't align on that, that'd be a really big issue.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon.
That was my issue with my last relationship as well,
Oh yeah.
because I like to enjoy my life,
And he liked to not.
to slum it up.
Which is wrong. Oh god. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm getting too triggered.
So in conclusion, he's getting angry. Someone's gonna talk about the party again.
No, we already got justice for that.
Yeah.
We already got our closure.
He just found something else he needs closure from.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think opposites attract?
If you are dating someone completely opposite from you, how are you making it work?
Are you making it work?
Yeah, actually. Is it actually working?
Is it actually working? That's the question.
Yes, let us know. So,
You're getting married.
yes, as we all know, if you listen to the last, I think it was like 2 episodes behind,
Yep.
I got engaged. But I've been planning my wedding before I even got engaged.
Yeah, 3 years ago, before you met Jacob.
No, not that intense. When I met Jacob.
2 years ago.
Yeah, probably like 6 months into meeting Jacob, I already started like bookmarking things on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to get married in a heritage building
Here in Australia.
in Melbourne,
Yeah.
because I think they're beautiful. And there was one place I like bookmarked for a year called The Trust.
Yes.
And I was like hyping this up in my head. I was like, oh my God, not many people have been married here. It looks so beautiful. It's like the New York Manhattan heritage building vibe that I want. And then, so when we got engaged, I started literally like a week later, I started reaching out to these venues to be like, hey, I want to know how much your wedding.
Well, actually, you reached out to them before you got engaged, right?
No, I reached out to
The trust.
No, what happened was last year I was on night shift with my friend and we were looking at venues,
Yeah.
and I wanted to see what the trust brochure was. So I
Yeah.
had to put my email and number into this website.
Oh, yeah, to
Um,
get a lead.
Yeah,
from
to
you,
get it was like what are they called? A venue coordinator.
Yeah.
And then because I put my number, she started calling me.
Mm.
And I was just like, girl, I don't know, I'm busy. But I didn't tell her because I wasn't engaged yet.
It's too embarrassing.
And then Jacob was just like, why don't you just go? And I was like, no, it's
It's weird.
fraud.
Yeah, it's fraud. It is
Yeah.
actually. It is. Identity theft.
It's like, I'm claiming to be engaged when I am not.
It's Mel Gibson stuff right there.
Yeah, and I'm not about that. I like authenticity. So I had to wait for my ring. And literally the moment I got the ring, emailed.
Yeah.
I was like, hello.
You pull out your phone, you're like, I'm ready.
Yeah. I was like, I'm engaged. Let's go look at some venues. So actually the first one we looked at was Quattro because our friend's getting married there next year.
Yeah.
And on the day of the proposal, they were talking about how they went to Quattro, and honestly, it wasn't even my radar, but like the courtyard looks pretty, so I was like, oh, we'll have a sus. And we love the courtyard. And then I think the next week we went to the Trust.
Yes, because I wasn't with you when you visited Quattro,
Yes.
but I was with you when
At
you
the Trust.
visited
Yeah.
Trust.
So that's when I started asking. I was like, actually, I'm going to need a third opinion from this, or
Yeah.
second opinion.
Yeah.
Vincent's the third.
Oh, Jacob's not even one and two?
Jacob and my
As
opinion
counts
comes one. Yeah.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to need a second or third opinion because like we look at things and we're like, wow, pretty. But I don't have a creative eye for spaces.
Oh, yeah. Whereas I kind of do. and so
Yes,
does
exactly.
Vincent.
Exactly. So you guys are very good at looking at the space and like acknowledging how like things can be set up or like what the floor of the space would be.
Yeah. And like what you can do
Yeah.
and the vision that you can
Yeah.
have with it. Yeah.
And Jacob actually absolutely has no creative bone in his body. So he would just look at it and be like, that's nice. Or that's not nice. That's his like,
Which, in a sense, what you want sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of like, okay, I need someone to just go yes and no.
yes.
You get what I mean?
Yes.
Whereas, like, I will say yes to whatever you were going to say yes to, but I
Yeah.
still had my apprehension about the places that I didn't like or
Yeah.
wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. But like you're good at like pointing something out that I wouldn't
yeah,
have seen.
yeah,
So I decided to bring you along to the Trust.
yes.
Which was the second venue we looked at and the one that I was like hyping up in my head for a year.
Yeah.
But then I think, like literally hours before we went, I was telling Jacob, like, I actually think I'm going to hate this. I'm scared I'm going to hate this when I get there in person.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we got there. The lady was very nice. She was actually a lot more personable than the Quattro lady. The
Yeah.
Quattro lady was nice too, but like,
Mhm. Different.
I think different because the Trust is new, so they need people to book with them. Whereas Quattro has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So they're like, we don't really care.
It's word of mouth there
Yeah,
kind of situation.
Most of the time. It's like you've been to a wedding there. So then most of the time you're going to
Want to
married
have a
there.
wedding. Yeah. Yeah.
So we went to the Trust and I didn't love it because I was a bit disappointed. In my head I've just built it up and then it's beautiful, but it wasn't the vibe that I wanted.
Yeah, I felt that as well because you said it was your favorite
Yeah.
so far without having seen it, and
Yeah.
like when you see a venue in real life versus when you see it in someone else's wedding,
Yeah.
TikTok or reel, it's very different because you kind of look at the space and you go, does this work for me?
Yes.
And if your answer's like not really,
Yeah.
then that makes sense. And like that venue, although it was really beautiful, I don't think it would have worked for what you wanted.
The strength that Jacob and I have is logistics. We're both good at like analyzing a situation
Yeah.
and building the logistics from it. So I remember at the Trust, so basically it's an old building, but the way it's set out is that the dance floor is separated
yeah.
from the main dining room.
Yeah.
He pointed out that firstly the dance floor is a bit squishy.
It's a length.
It's like
design.
long,
Yeah, it's long,
but not
rather than-
wide.
yes.
And it's the bar's right next to it, which is fine if you want drinks. But then he sort of said, but what if you just want to walk to the bar and you have to go through a lot of people dancing to get a
Correct.
drink?
Yeah.
And then what I thought about was when we do a first dance, everyone's going to have to like come into this room.
Like leave their tables, which is fine, but like actually move from a separate part of the venue to another.
Yeah.
Basically.
Exactly. And then you pointed out that the way they set the head table was right in front of the toilets.
Yeah, which could have been fixed anyway because I
Yeah.
saw how other people did
Yeah.
it in their photos. Rightly so, because I wouldn't want a head table.
No, in front of the toilet. Even though
Yeah.
the photo, like you wouldn't know it's a toilet.
No, but it's the fact that people are like flashing, the doors loud. It's like there's a lot of movement happening there
Yeah.
where you don't want it to happen.
Yeah. From that. And then we spoke about like the package and the quotes. And I already had the feeling like I feel quite restricted.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I think I was like in my head trying to justify it, but I wasn't sold. And
Correct.
then because we've been to Quattara, and I was like, well, out of the two that we've seen so far, we like Quattara better. So I've dragged you back to Quattara.
You did. Yeah. Yeah.
Because like the courtyard, the outside was stunning. I still love it. But I knew that with Quattara, I wasn't sold on the inside.
I was not sold on the inside either.
No.
I think the dining area really felt like a cookie cutter reception
like
place.
like ballroom reception
Yeah,
that everyone
yeah.
has.
No offense.
Yeah, no offense. Like, it's a beautiful wedding set, just not for me. And so then after that, I think because I knew Jacob really liked the courtyard and like he loved the little patio area.
Oh yeah, that's really nice.
Really nice.
And would be really good if you were to have your ceremony there.
Yeah.
But for cocktail hour, for 1 hour,
yeah, it's too short.
it's too short for anyone to actually truly enjoy the,
Yes, and that's exactly what you pointed out because you told me like how long will you actually spend here?
in the courtyard.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And
Otherwise, everyone's in and people are out here smoking.
Yeah,
So that's literally
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, I'm not into Quattara, but on the same day we went to see Sophia in
Which is
Chapel
my
Street.
favorite.
I do love Sophia.
Yeah.
It was on. Yeah, I love it. It was beautiful. It's very intimate. And it's like nice heritage building, but the way that they've designed it, the decorations and the furniture and the balcony, stunning.
It works.
Stunning.
Yeah. And there's no, and like the venue flow
Yes.
works really
Really
nicely
well.
because they've got the bar right between where you are going to have the reception dining
Yeah.
place and then the either the cocktail hour and the dance floor,
Yes.
essentially. So that's why I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is quite nice.
You
The
and
building
I
was
immediately
nice,
were like, wow.
but immediately I knew it was better
Than
for
the
you
trust.
than the trust.
Yeah, I also felt that too. And I immediately was like, wow. So, because I remember Jacob's friend was saying that when you go to a venue, you'd be like, wow. And this is the one. But I felt that at Quattara too, the first time I went there.
Yeah.
And then the second time I was there, I was like, okay, this isn't it.
Mm.
But then when we went to Sophia, I was like, yeah, this might be it because I'm really getting that wow feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're run by a very like notable catering group.
Yeah.
And it was like ticking all our boxes. So then after that, I was telling Jacob, I don't really have many other places I want to visit.
Mm.
I inquired for the Immigration Museum, but they said it's too far in advance.
Wow.
And then I
But
inquired.
you're like, I'm an immigrant.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I'm an immigrant. Let me get married in the museum of my people. And then I inquired for the restaurant Rain LaRue. Have you heard of that?
No, what's
The
that?
French Gothic looking restaurant. Beautiful building. $60,000 minimum spend on just food and
Rip.
drinks.
Nah.
And I was like, okay,
That's out of budget.
that's a no for me.
Yeah.
So I inquired for that and I didn't even bother looking at it because
Yeah.
that's way too expensive. And then I was looking at photos of the State Library because my friend Matilda, she works for a wedding stylist and
Yeah.
she's trying to do her own floral business on the side as well.
Yeah.
So I was on the phone with her and I was really like in my head, like, I don't know what to do. And she has started Quattara
Yeah.
and she's like, Hazel, that's not your vibe. And that's exactly what I
She's
said.
not wrong.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like, the carpet looks too old.
She's not wrong. And although they are going to redo it,
Yeah.
it's too late for me. I saw it and I was like, it's too dark.
It's too dark. So then she was like, there's so many other cool places that you can get married at. So she's obviously sent some like wineries and I was like, that's way too far. I'm not going to
Yeah, that
Yarraville
wasn't
in
your,
Mornington.
like, you wanted central.
Yeah, central.
Yeah.
So then she was like, just email her stylist that she works with. So I emailed her and I was like, this is the vibe I want. I want like old money aesthetic vibes or like Manhattan building vibes.
Yeah, like classical,
Yeah.
nice architecture,
Yeah.
interiors, not your cookie cutter, like
Ballroom
reception,
yeah.
room reception that you find in Epping.
Yes. I wanted, I was thinking about them too. Beautiful, but not me. But I wanted like columns. I wanted arches.
Yes, yeah.
So that's what I wanted. And then so I emailed the stylist, Vanessa. Shout out to her. If you guys want to get your wedding started, it's Philoxy, Philo.
Yeah, I was sussing them out
Yes,
as
which is
well.
beautiful.
Very nice.
I told her, this is the vibe I want. What have you styled and what do you recommend? And
Yeah.
so she recommended, obviously, the places I've been looking at. And then she said State Library.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, State Library. So I went into a deep dive.
See, that's the thing. When you think about wedding,
Yes.
the State Library is not where your mind goes because
No.
it's not like you used to study there.
Yeah, literally. Like 3 years of my life.
Yeah. Anyway.
I used to hang out with my ex-boyfriend there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, wait, like you go, wait, the state library as a wedding reception.
Yeah, well,
but where?
so my friend / my landlord actually did her wedding photos at the state library.
Oh, did she?
So I remember looking at those photos and I was like, whoa, that's cool. I didn't know you can do photos there.
Mm.
And so when Vanessa mentioned state library as a wedding, I was like, okay, I'm going to suss this out. And
Yeah.
I was like, I emailed the catering group. I emailed some like wedding venue website. I emailed the state library. I was like, let me see this place.
Yeah.
And it took them I think like almost a week to get back to me.
Oh.
So I was like to Jacob, I don't know if they're like, is this going to be like the immigration museum where they're like, oh, sorry.
too far
Too
ahead.
far
in
in
the future.
advance. So,
Yeah.
segue. I planned my wedding date to be around my period cycle. So I knew I wanted to get married in autumn.
Is that so you can get pregnant afterwards?
No, it's so I can look my best and feel my best.
Oh
So
my god.
I'm planning it on the day
She's
of
crazy.
ovulating.
Oh
Because
my
that's
god.
when physically women are at
the
the
most
best.
attracted.
but like
attractive. Yeah.
the best looking in their month cycle. Like
Yeah.
their skin's glowing, they have energy.
It's where your body's like, put a baby
Yeah,
in me.
exactly. So I knew I wanted to get married in 2 years' time in autumn. And I
Where
didn't
your
want
body's like, put a baby in
Yes.
me now.
exactly. I didn't want to get married in May because it's getting too close to winter.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get married in March because a lot of venues it's a little bit expensive because it's like
Summer.
peak
Yeah,
season
hot.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, April it is. And I looked at my period calendar. I literally looked at which weekend will be closest to my ovulation date. And I was like, that's the weekend.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I know people have significant dates. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm getting married when I feel good.
That's fine.
So yeah,
Because you
anyway,
give them 2 years warning anyway. Or a
Exactly.
year in a bit.
a year and a bit. But with weddings, I've learned from my colleagues, a lot of places have hidden costs. So
Yeah, I also think it's, you know, when it comes to wedding, like the moment a venue knows you're getting married there, it's like, oh, let's times 10 everything.
apparently, so my trainer, she was like talking about how her friend got married at Stones, of the Yarra Valley,
Yeah.
but didn't say it was a wedding. So she just literally like hired like a restaurant area.
Yeah.
And then she just kept saying like it's just a family, like a party.
Yeah.
And closer to the date, they were like, is this a wedding? Because they started kind of sussing out.
Oh, 100%.
And then she was like, no. And they're like, if this is a wedding, we're going to cancel your contract. Because it's obviously a lot cheaper.
yeah.
Right? And I was like, what difference is it?
But
They're catering.
It doesn't make a difference when you're planning your wedding versus
Yes.
you're planning a party or
Yeah.
a birthday. People are less likely to compromise,
Yes.
and because it's their wedding, like it happens once
Yeah,
most of
yeah,
the time, unless you're
yeah.
gonna get divorced, whatever. So they use that part of your emotion, and they go, well, we know this is gonna be a very important day for you, like one
Yeah.
of your most important days in your life.
Yeah.
We will charge you more because we know that you can't say no to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't, yeah.
Which is all psychological
Yeah.
and really like fucked up.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be doing that, but they do it because they know that like you want your dream wedding, you're gonna have to pay for your dream wedding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so rude.
100%. But I think a lot of brides, let's say, are a lot more attached to the idea of it. So that's how they get you.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, chandelier's extra." What do you
Yeah.
mean? But it's part of the building. Yeah, no, the paid's extra too.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so this is why I'm avoiding like traditional wedding venues
Yeah.
in Melbourne. And so that leads us to the State Library.
Yes.
So again, like I've studied there. When I looked at it, I was like, this is pretty, but because I've been here before. But I
Yeah.
haven't been to the big room, the reading room with the columns until that day.
Yeah, the Queen's Hall.
Yes, but Jacob had never been to the State Library at all. So he never studied there. So when he was walking around, he was like, wow, like every second, like, wow. And then when we saw the columns, he was like, wow. And then in my head, I was still thinking about Sophia. Because I was
Yeah, of
like,
course.
oh my God, I really, really love Sophia. So how I reacted to Sophia was how he was reacting to the State Library.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the lady really, really sold it to us though, because she was like, because it's the State Library, they partnered with like 5 hotel groups around the city
Yeah,
for
of course.
discounts.
Yeah.
They're like centerpieces are
Yeah.
included on the table, so you don't have to pay for that. And then what else was a pro? The only catch was because it's a public library, you have to wait for the library to
Like
shut
close, yeah.
before you can bump in and bring the decorations
Correct.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So it's an hour later than most venues.
Yeah.
So I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit late. But then I left that tour being really confused and I was like, damn, I don't know what to do. I even asked ChatGPT. I was like, this is the vibe of the wedding I want.
Phone a friend.
Yeah.
I.
Yes. I phoned ChatGPT. I
Yeah.
phoned you.
Yeah.
Because it just so happened, this is why it was fate. So I was like, just went on Instagram
Mm.
looking at like State Library and how people decorated it. And I saw on the catering group's Instagram page that they were actually doing a tour, like a
Like
proper
an
tour,
open night. Yeah.
open night
Yeah.
2 weeks away. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit, I'm going to like bring Myron and Vincent
Yeah.
along and we'll go back. So again, I was like so conflicted. I was like to Jacob, I don't know what to do, which venue to go for, because like they're so beautiful, both of them.
Mm.
But one's so different. Like Sophia's intimate, State Library is very like elegant and like
Tall, like high ceilings,
Yeah, high
especially the room
ceilings.
that you are looking at. Yeah.
yes. And he was just like, you can't make a wrong decision. I'm like, yes, you can.
You can.
Financially.
I've seen it.
Yes, me too. I'm like, I have seen it too, but I'm like, financially, it will make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I hate it, I'll cry.
Yeah. And if you love it, you'll cry. But it's
Exactly.
just two different types of tears.
2 different types of tears. And then, so I asked the Sophia person I've been dealing with, I was like, can you give me a custom quote? Because State Library, the catering group, already onto it. The next day after we saw them, sent me the custom quote. And it was like, these are all the things you asked about. I've included this here as well. So I asked Sophia, I was like, can you please give me the custom quote and how much your deposits are and when, so I can compare.
Yeah.
And this was the deal breaker for us. Sophia sent us a proposal labeled Hazel and Partner. And Jacob was not impressed. He went into a rant about it for a minute.
Oh, really?
He was like, partner, what a lack of attention to detail that is. And again, this man's an accountant, so he needs attention to
no,
detail.
it makes sense. Like, you're in the service industry,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So even if they like called you and said, hey, just checking, what's your partner's name again?
Yes.
Just so we could like put him in the proposal,
Yeah,
make sure everything's all
100%.
good. Like, that would have made a difference as well. Even admitting that they need to know your partner's name, there's nothing wrong
There's
with
nothing
that.
wrong with that.
It's not like it's a Hazel decision.
Yeah.
It's a Hazel and Jacob decision.
Yeah.
And I think I get where, when you're spending your good hard-earned money
100%.
at a place, you want to feel respected. And I don't think Jacob felt
No.
respected.
And also, I actually had to email this person twice. It was like neck and neck.
Oh, yeah.
It
okay.
was like looking at a CV and
Yeah.
one other person's CV and finding a typo. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like neck and neck. Like
Mm.
I couldn't decide between the two of them. And it was just like one little thing that threw them off. And I'm like, oh, there it is.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I send a proposal to people at work, I make sure I have the right names
Yes.
on there, right detail. Because the last thing you want is for them to go, that's not me, or that's not us.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like,
Exactly. And
it shows unprofessionalism.
shows
as well.
unprofessionalism. And again, like you don't know if they're also looking at another advertising company at the
Yeah,
same time.
exactly. And they sometimes are.
Yeah. So from that, I was like, all right, I think we're going to the State Library. And then we went back on that open tour
Yeah.
and I was wowed. I was so impressed when we
Oh
came
yeah,
back the second time.
me and Vincent were as well.
Yeah.
There was a lot of rooms in that library
Yeah.
that I've never been to before.
No, me either.
And I was like, in the first room, I was already impressed. And it was like I wouldn't say it's basic, but
It was more intimate.
it's intimate, but it had enough character to it
Yeah.
where you're like, oh, okay, I could see myself having a ceremony in that room
Yeah.
because I'm not going to have a big wedding.
Yeah.
So that would be a room for me. And then we went into like the art gallery room.
Yeah. That was really
Which-
nice too.
For me, I was like, this is a bit weird,
Yeah.
but in the same time, it would look really nice
Yeah.
having like a reception in an art gallery,
Yeah. And it's-
right? Then we went to the final room, which is the reading room. No,
Yeah.
was
We
it
went to the reading
the
room.
reading room,
And then
the Queen's Hall,
yeah.
which is like they really knew what they were doing, putting that last,
Yeah.
which is like okay, magnificent.
And it had like the violinists that they work with.
Oh yeah, like they really set the vibe. Like they sold the place.
Yeah.
I mean, they thought me and Vincent were also looking to get married there, and I'm like, yeah, sure, just give me the pamphlet. That's all I needed. I just wanted to know the price. I think they did a good job of selling
Yes.
the place. Some rooms, I'm like, no.
Oh,
Like,
some
it
of the
just-
rooms are like yeah,
like,
one
it
of
was
the rooms
just,
was
it was
not
just like a
good.
big no for me. Like this is a nice conference room,
Yeah, yeah.
but not a
Not
wedding.
for a wedding,
Yeah.
but I guess some people have different taste to us. But yeah, we were wowed. They even gave us canapes. They gave us drinks.
Canapes, drinks, but it's like the violinist there and that whole
The
band,
reading. Yeah, yeah.
the three of them, that already gave you
That brought the atmosphere up so much.
And then
yeah.
they did the lighting as
Yeah.
well, what it could look like. And
Yeah.
I'm like, because that was one of the questions we
Yeah.
had was like, how are you going to light this place? It's a library during the
Yeah.
day. You know, like you don't just have magical lights, like the colorful lights. And it turns
Yeah.
out they do.
They do.
It's literally just on the walls.
Yeah, they do.
And then we're trying to figure out the layout and
Yeah.
get like anything could work in that place,
Yeah.
obviously. And then like architecture wise, Queen's Hall, really, really nice and
Yeah.
beautiful. Tall ceilings. You've got the pillars. You can hide the books. Like
yeah,
that's
you can
fine.
put drapes around.
the place where you're gonna have the cocktail hour, the reading room,
Study.
delicious.
That was like
Like-
my study area.
Yeah.
And even I was still, because everyone was like, will you not get PTSD about that? And I was like, bro, I forgot I studied there when I saw that.
Oh yeah, and like when it's at night and
Yeah.
there's no
People.
there's no people and there's no one cramming for the exams in there.
Yeah.
Like it's a different
Different vibe.
vibe.
Yeah.
It really is. Like you take notice of all the different things. Like you look up and you're like, oh my god, there's those arches on the wall.
Yeah.
It's like really high. They're like it's dim enough so it's not too bright.
Yeah.
Like it works in a way that you didn't think it would
Yeah, exactly.
when you're like there during the day and you're studying and you're like, wait, I can't,
I'm getting married here.
I'm getting
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a
18,
reception here.
19-year-old
What?
Hazel
Yeah.
wouldn't have even thought
No,
about that when I was
exactly.
studying there.
No one thinks about that.
No, but I think that's what it was when I was looking for venues, because I wanted to get married at places that not many people I know have been married at, because I like being a little bit different but not too different.
And I was talking to Jacob about it as well.
Yeah.
When we were like discussing it, it's like, well, people know the state library. Like when you say
Yeah.
I got married at the state library, they go, the state library. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not like I got married at Quaquara.
Where's
the
that?
hat?
Yeah, what's called quarter?
Yeah, only the people like in the east will know.
Yeah, exactly.
Only the Alstonwick people will be
People.
like, oh yeah, I know what that
Or
is.
people that have been there for a wedding.
Correct, yeah. Exactly. And then whenever you're in the city, you're like, we got
got
this,
married there, yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's a central place. Literally, it's in the middle of the city. And yeah, when I saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is perfect for Hazel.
Yeah.
And I already knew you were gonna say yes to that place.
Yeah,
because
because
of
I
the
said about the
discussion,
Sophia
yeah.
thing, yeah.
Because of the discussion we had with Sophia. I think you just needed one last little, just not even a push, just a little.
I needed a convincing.
Yeah.
I needed to make sure that my intuition was like, okay, this is
No,
it.
it works.
Yeah.
Like having those two rooms
Yeah.
again, just like you go from one end and then no one knows that they're gonna go into the next room or which room they're gonna
Yeah,
go into,
100%.
and then they go in and they're like,
Wow.
Wow.
And I remember that night when we went to see the state library, I was like to Jacob, when you and Vincent were like, wow, I was like, this is what I want.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I want people to be like on
Yeah.
the day.
And that's with like no styling, barely any
Yeah,
styling. It was just
exactly.
lights,
Just
and, like,
lights and the
dim.
musicians.
Yeah.
So
No, like wait till you have styling and
Yeah.
the table's all set up and everyone's gonna go look at their, go
The
to the
seats,
table
yeah.
and go up and look and like, oh my god, this place is so nice.
that's exactly what I want people to be like. So yeah, that was up to the venue hunting. I think I'm getting married at St. Patrick's Cathedral. But that's an update when I book it.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You can get married at any church, really.
No, I cannot. Some of these churches are not pretty.
Oh, really?
So no, I cannot get married at any church.
Yeah, the church. I asked you if the church was like a must, and you said yes, it's a must.
Yes.
The parents asked.
My dad's face today. So basically, short story before we end up finishing this episode. I inquired for this church that Jacob and I were like, yeah, this is the one we're gonna get married at
Yeah.
in Richmond, because he went there for a wedding, for his friend's wedding
Yeah.
a month ago. And they got back to us and they're like, you have 30 days to pay $3,000. This church was like, you have to get a letter from your parish priest to say that they're happy for you to get married at a church that's not your parish.
Your parish priest.
So my parish priest isn't like where my parents live.
Yeah,
and
but it's
Jacob
like,
was
who
like-
still has a parish priest?
Jacob,
It's-
exactly. Jacob was like, I haven't spoken to my parish priest since like 2007.
Yeah, since you got like your confirmation.
Yeah. So I was like, that's a lot. And then the 30-day time frame was a lot too. And then I was like, 3,000. This is a lot more than what Jacob's friend said, but I guess he must have booked it like ages ago. So,
$3,000.
but then my dad was like, well, you might as well ask how much St. Patrick's is, because St. Patrick's is the biggest cathedral in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And it's the same price.
Well, you may as well.
That's why I'm like, I'm
at
getting married at St.
Cathedral.
Patrick's.
Yeah.
And they're not giving me a 30-day time limit.
The church is so funny.
Depends on the church. But I think, again, it's like one of those places, St. Ignatius in Richmond is one of those places where they get a lot of weddings.
It's one of those, we need to lock you in.
Yeah, we need to
But
lock you
also
in.
at the same time, if we don't lock you in, we
It's
don't
fine.
care.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those.
There's another bitch waiting.
Yes. Whereas the cathedral.
I'll see you in hell.
Yeah. Wow. But the cathedral's the cathedral. So.
Oh, yeah.
And we got an hour and a half photo shoot around the cathedral.
Yeah,
as
and it's
well.
like 2 minutes away from
State Library.
State Library.
So
It's
people don't
within
need to Uber; they can just
walk.
walk
Yeah,
and then
easily.
hang out at a pub or bar or something. But yeah, other than that, no other I'll update you maybe in a few months' time.
Wait, what's next?
In my planning.
Yeah.
So I've got my photographer. I'm just waiting to like lock in the church before I sign the contract with her. She's from New
Oh, yeah.
Zealand.
Oh, wow, you're going to fly a bitch in.
I'm flying her in.
She's got money, people.
Fuck
There's
no.
money to spend.
Thank God Jacob's got a new job. And then I've got Matilda's stylist friend Vanessa.
Yeah.
I think the thing I've really liked about this wedding planning is that I'm very well connected, and so are my friends.
You are, and it's going to help me in the future as well.
Yes.
Because of your well-connectedness, I can get connected.
Exactly. Hello, Ramo. So, like for example, you're a graphic designer.
Yes.
I can use your
Design
designing.
skills, yeah.
Matilda, she's gonna do my florals, and she
Yeah.
said she'll just only ask me for the wholesale price of what she buys. So
Yeah.
I'm not paying her for skills.
yeah.
Her friend said she's giving me a 15% discount
Yeah.
because of Matilda.
Yeah. And I'm here to help you with your design and stationery.
Oh yes, my MC will most likely be my childhood friend who's a celebrant. So like,
Fine.
oh, you haven't met him. He's from my youth group.
Oh, okay.
But it's like,
I'm going to hell that night.
that's fine. Just don't go to hell at church.
No, that's fine. I'll just combust into a million pieces when I walk
Then
in.
everyone will definitely remember.
They'll be
my
like,
wedding.
they're like, what the fuck did we just see?
Then my wedding will be so memorable.
So that's it for episode 25. That's a long one.
Sorry, that was long. I yapped a lot.
That's fine.
I give a lot of details. But anyway, if you guys want to... shout out to my TikTok at Hazeline, because I've started
Oh.
making my
Yeah, go.
wedding videos. Of my wedding venue videos.
Oh, you have?
I made one on the weekend about Kolkata.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Do we follow you on
I have no idea.
TikTok?
But I think we do.
Okay. I
Anyway.
didn't see it.
Anyway, have a look. But also shout out to our other TikTok.
Yes.
At Hazel and Murray.
At Hazel Married. Follow that and then follow Hazel's if
Yes.
you want. Follow both. Don't just follow hers.
Yeah,
Um,
follow the main page.
Because once she's done married or she's busy, she's going to stop posting
I have no
anything.
other content to make.
All cats and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can follow us at Hazel and Marin on TikTok and Instagram. We're also on YouTube if you're not already watching this on YouTube. And we're on Apple Podcast and Spotify.
With video.
With video, Spotify and YouTube video. We've got it. So you can actually see our faces. So when I
Ew.
well, it's actually not bad. The lighting is good this
Okay.
season. The lighting is good this season. The editing is all coming up Millhouse.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.